All right, and welcome everybody to Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. I want to welcome you all to the broadcast. I hope everybody's doing really well. Got the webcam on over on YouTube, so if you'd like to watch us on YouTube, go ahead and jump into the chat room there. We'd love to talk to you while we're doing this broadcast. And before we get going too far, I want to encourage you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I know it sounds really cheesy, but really we need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way every time that we have one of these broadcasts, you can actually be a part of it. Today, folks, we are going to talk about 10 ways, the top 10 ways the Democrat Party is trying to destroy America. Yeah, these are documented. These are well documented. And I know a lot of times we, I think as Republicans, as conservatives, we forget that not only are we doing the right things, but those guys they're actively doing things to destroy our nation. We're going to talk about those things, and I hope that you don't even go away. Don't go away, folks. These are things you're going to want to be sharing with your friends. So we'll be back with that. The top 10 things, top ways the Democrat Party is trying to destroy America. This broadcast of the Nevada Conservative Podcast. We'll be right back. Stick around. All right, we are back, folks. I'm Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you all for being a part of it. It's a Monday, because we are back here on a Monday, and hopefully you had a great week, great weekend, I should say. I hope you watched the Kentucky Derby. I did. I know some of you are waiting for, like this big thing to happen with this big horse called Great White and stuff like that, and he didn't even make it to the stalls, man. My gosh, what happened to this guy? He just didn't make it. And Renegade, who was my favorite, didn't make it either. So that's all right. There's a great horse that came and won the race. I don't even know what his name is. I do know the trainer's name is Cherie. But the long shot won that race. Came from all the way in the back of the back. And it was a metaphor on life, wasn't it? Sometimes you're like the last one in line, and everybody goes, oh, you'll never make it. Nah, you'll never make it. And then you win, which is just so exciting in life. So today, guys, we're going to talk about something that's kind of be a continuing refrain. And it's something that I think we as conservatives need to remind voters out there that is going on in the marketplace. And it's not that we're the greatest people in the world, 'cause, even though our parents love us and stuff like that. But it's that we have the ideas in the marketplace, and that we're better than the left. We really are. There was actually a poll that was just recently taken, and the poll basically said that are Republicans doing well or Democrats doing well? And Republicans were not doing well at all. I mean, really weren't, especially during this time where you're having people being squeezed in by fuel prices and the high prices of things. But when you look at it, when they ask people, well, who do you trust more? It's Republicans. Oh yeah, people trust Republicans a lot more than Democrats. They know what's going to happen under Democrats. We're going to talk about it today, but they know what's going to happen if they go back to the Democrat way of things. They may not be so excited about us, but they know that we are going in the right direction. Right now we've got a war in Iran, and that is driving prices up on everything else. But prices are going to drop like a rock, because they did under the first Trump administration, and they're going to do the same thing again. The stock market is at all-time highs, which means, and guess what, guys? If the people in the stock market are excited about what's going on right now, then you can be sure that things are just on the way to explode. It's going to be just awesome. So, but we're going to talk about the Democrat Party today, and we're going to talk about ways that they've been doing everything they can to destroy the America, the America that we know. So we're MAGA, or some of us are MAGA. We want to make America great again. Democrats do not want that at all. And how do we know it? Well, we're going to go through the top 10 ways that they've done this, of trying to destroy America. And let's get started on this, okay? So over the past 17 years, the Democrat Party didn't just drift left, because some of us have seen them drift left. They went full woke. And in the eyes of every freedom-loving American, full anti-America. That's exactly where they went. They didn't just go woke, they went full anti-America. They aren't offering a different path to make America better. Their policies are a direct assault on everything our founding fathers stood for. And what did our founding fathers stand for? They stood for limited government, individual liberty, self-reliance, and the rule of law. And those are three basic tenets that our founding fathers had. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And it's not just a difference of opinion that they figure that getting from A to Z, they want to do it this way and we want to do it that way. They don't want to get from here to there. They want to blow up the whole thing and they want to destroy it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I want to remind you before we get into the top 10 here, that to go onto our website, it's thenevadaconservative.com, thenevadaconservative.com, and check out all the articles, the videos that we've got on there that talk about America and they talk about what's going on in the marketplace. And we want you to be informed about who you're going to vote for and what the country stands for. We're actually going to be putting a lot more articles on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, that kind of stuff. So you know, folks, we want you to be very well educated. That way you know what right and wrong is. So when it comes up to you, you're like a Secret Service agent, except for you're protecting the president way before the assailant comes in the room. So you know exactly what's going on if you see something that does not look right. Okay, so let's talk about the top 10 ways the Democrat Party is trying to destroy America. Number 10, and this one's probably the biggest one. They have open borders and mass immigration or mass illegal immigration. Their policies on this. Over the last 10 years, especially in the last 10 years, and we're gonna trace back from 2009 to the present day. During the Biden administration, an estimated 10 million encounters under the Biden-Harris administration happened. Add to that the fentanyl deaths and the surge there, and over 70,000 Americans in those years were killed as a result of the fentanyl poisoning. Folks, we experienced a rash of illegal entry that this country has never seen before, and something our founding fathers would have never, ever have guessed would ever happen to our country. And that, if we just stopped the show right there, we could actually just stop the show right there and said this was enough to show that these people want to destroy America, because there's no country that allows this amount of migration into their hemisphere. Nobody does this. Nobody does it. I mean, and if you look in Europe right now, Germany doesn't look like Germany. France doesn't look like France. These countries are changing. England does not look like England. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of the videos on England, and sometimes they have these Muslims come in there, you'd never even know it's England anymore. These are hard facts here, folks. And the strain here in Nevada, where I live at, is just ridiculous. And this is not just Nevada. This is all over. You can apply. You can put your name, your country, your state, your city in this. That our hospitals, your schools, your housing, your workforce impact have all been affected by the amount of mass illegal immigration into our country. That's not. We're not being compassionate, folks. They're importing chaos. Democrats are going, oh well, we're just these folks have been here for many, many years. It's wrong. They have not. We imported so many people in this country that it is unsustainable. We can't live this way. Open borders, mass migration. Number 9. Let's go to the next one here, folks. How about runaway federal spending, inflation, and crushing national debt? Under the Biden administration, folks, they added trillions to the debt in just 4 years. Trillions. Inflation hit 9.1% at its peak. Groceries, gas, and rent skyrocketed, not just here in Nevada, but nationally. Folks, there are people right now that they've been talking about how you're probably not going to be able to buy a home if you are somebody who's in their 20s, let alone your 30s, maybe not in your 40s. I've got a daughter who's just now letting us know that she's going to buy a house. And I bought my first home in my early 20s. So in my early 20s, I bought my first home. And I've owned several since then. My kids right now, it is going to be tough. It's tough for them to even have a reasonable rent for an apartment. And my youngest daughter is just telling me now that she's buying a house, and she's got a fantastic job, and she's been saving and scrimping and saving. But that is all as a result of the Biden administration. Remember, we used to talk about the great thing that we wanted to see as Americans is the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And what would happen in those days, you could look forward to buying a home in America. That's really when you knew you had to get a plot of land and you can do some farming and stuff like that. No, that's not going to happen now. You'll be lucky if you ever own a house. And that's the scary thing about the Democrats. And what they've been able to do over the last number of years is they've made it so that you as an American, somebody who's working your butt off, are not even able to buy a home. And that is the crazy thing about it. Let's do this, folks. Let's take a really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to continue our countdown of the top 10 ways the Democrat Party is trying to destroy America on this edition of the TNC podcast. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back, folks. It's the TNC podcast. I want to welcome you all back to the show. We're talking about, and we thought we'd get on a high note today, but I think if you don't understand your history, folks, you will never be able. You'll repeat that history over and over again. We're going up to the midterms here in just a few more months, folks. Just a short amount of time. We've got the primaries first, and then we're going to have the midterm elections. And people are going to be voting not based upon, or we hope they're voting based upon knowledge, but they're voting on emotion, and they're not voting on what they just went through and what the other party is had put them through. They're voting on emotions and stuff like that. And generally what happens is the party that's in power will lose. And in some cases, it's big time. Excuse me. During the Biden administration, and even before him, the Obama administration, this country experienced such an upheaval in high inflation, racial unrest, not being able to get along with our neighbors on the international front, wars, all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, people forget all about that. They forget that gas prices were like $7, and the Democrats were saying under the Obama administration, "Oh, guys, that's our new normal. Don't worry about it." Okay, and you're going, you got to be kidding me. But right now, under the Trump administration, due to a war that we're in with Iran, and Iran is pushing up the price of gas. It has nothing to do with us getting off of fossil fuels. It's because we're actually in a war. That's the only reason why our prices are high at all. People forget about this, and we don't want them to forget. We don't want them to forget that under the Biden administration, it was self-imposed. It was self-imposed, And the Biden administration cut off the spigot for us to drill, baby, drill. They wanted to do the Green New Scam, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. And they forced America to be impoverished. And we're going to talk about some of the other things they've done. And we need to remind everybody else that, guys, guess what? You don't want to go back there. We do not want to go back to those Biden days. We don't want to go back to where Democrats are in control, because we know what they're going to do. They're going to screw us like you would not believe. So we're tracking down the top 10 ways Democrats are or have tried to destroy America. And I feel very confident in putting that title there, because that's exactly what they've done. So number 10, let's kind of count them backwards. Number 10, we're talking about our open border policies and the mass illegal immigration. Number 9, the runaway spending and the inflation and the crushing national debt. And now we're up to number 8. Number 8 is our soft on crime policies and the defund the police policies. Can you, many of you guys remember this. The data is clear. The spike in urban crime rates post 2020, repeat offenders released without bail. Remember that they didn't want anybody going to jail at all. And in California, folks, guess what? They went as far as saying, guess what? If you seal up the $900 of stuff, you're fine. So many of you can go to the stores right now. You can go to any store nationwide, and what do you see in the stores when you go there? Yeah, everything's behind plexiglass. Why is that? Democrat policies. Because they were so soft on crime, they were letting people out. They're still doing it to this day. George Soros was backing all of these DAs. And you remember in California, folks, some of you live in California, listening to this broadcast right now. They had DAs in California, DAs in Georgia, DAs in New York. They still have them in New York. And they're still doing the same thing they're doing right now. People commit horrific crimes. And they go, you're fine. Go on, get back out of jail. And it's as though they don't even give them a slap on the wrist. And what do these folks do? They go out and they commit the same crimes over and over and over again. That goes so against what our founding fathers wanted for our country. But what happened? What's going on under the Trump administration? Crimes are down to a 50-year low. Those aggravated assaults, they're down to 50-year lows under the Trump administration. And that's, guess what, something we needed. Here in Nevada, guys, guess what? We have a strip. We have the Las Vegas Strip, guys, guess what? If we don't continue to be hard on crime and criminals and stuff like that, the Las Vegas Strip is going to be a ghost town, because people do not want to come to this state so they can be robbed. They know people are out here gambling, and they probably have cash in their pockets. They do not want this as a part of their lifestyle. Number 7, their woke indoctrination in schools and government. Oh gosh. So what are we talking about? Woke indoctrination in schools and in government. We're talking about CRT, DEI, gender ideology, calling people hit, earth, app, them, they, whatever, and when it's obviously a woman or a guy. So we also found out during the Obama administration and Biden administration and especially in the last number of 20 years or so, our testing scores for our schools have gone through the toilet. America, who is the number one economy in the world, the number one superpower in the world, we're not even in the top 30 as far as education of our students. It's ridiculous. And they're pushing in our schools gender ideology and race politics over reading and math. Okay, we send our kids to school for one reason, folks. And the biggest reason we send our kids to school is for reading, writing, and arithmetic. Oh no, you go to schools nowadays, and guess what we're finding out in those schools nowadays? Is that they're pushing, does Sally have 2 daddies? Does Tommy have 2 mommies? Or Sally, or do you feel like you're Sam? We don't want to tell your parents. That's what's going on. They're pushing this woke indoctrination in our schools, and I think this this weekend was a major indicator, especially not so much in Nevada, because we didn't have it so much in Nevada here, but they definitely had it on the East Coast, and it's called May Day. May Day was a communist socialist celebration in Europe, and they tried to import it here in the United States. And the United States says, no, we really don't want that whole socialist thing to celebrate workers' rights and everything else. We do want to admit that their workers are the backbone of America, so we'll have ours, and we'll call it Labor Day. So we did ours in September. But some people believe that we should still continue to have it here in America. So what did they do in the Chicago schools? And what did they do at New York schools, in California schools? The teachers were saying, okay, come on, kids, we're not going to be in school today. Come on, and we're going to go celebrate May Day. When the kids should be in school, the teachers are going, no, don't go to school. Come on and celebrate May Day with us and go marching. Now, the test scores for kids are in the toilet, and instead of saying, maybe we should get those kids back in the classroom and do some reading, writing, and arithmetic, no, let's talk about workers' rights and stuff like that. They're indoctrinating our kids, folks, which goes something completely against what our founding fathers wanted. Our founding fathers wanted a colorblind society. They wanted a republic that was merit-based, that you shouldn't have to worry about whether or not you're black or white or anything. It's what can you do the job. Number 6, before we do our break, Number 6, the war on American energy, and we talked about this before. The Green New Scam or madness, or the mandates. Under the Biden administration and even under the Obama administration, they restricted drilling, offshore drilling, any new drilling in Alaska or anything like that, to the point where we as a country were beholden to other countries like Iran. We're beholden to Venezuela. We're beholden to the Middle East. When we've got more oil and we have more natural resources here on our shores than all of those countries. Under the Trump administration, the policy changed exponentially. It flipped over. The paradigm shift was swift and it was immediate. Under Donald Trump, he said, "Drill, baby, drill." That's what we're going to do. And that's why right now, folks, while we are watching the rest of the world quiver and quake in its boots about whether or not they're going to be able to make their, get enough fuel to get them through the summer, we as Americans, we're sitting pretty. And why are we sitting pretty? Because under Donald Trump, we started drilling, baby, drill from the time he got into office. And now, while this war is going on in Iran, we're saying to ourselves, man, I'm so glad we have a president who wants America to be strong, self-sufficient, and not beholden to anyone. And that's why Democrats are just going crazy. They want to destroy America. And we cannot allow that to happen. When we come back, folks, we're going to finish this up, folks. But you're going to love this. The top 10 ways the Democrat Party is trying to destroy America on this edition of the Nevada Conservative Podcast. We'll be back in just a second. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. And I want to encourage you, folks, if you're loving what you see here, I encourage you, go ahead into our website, thenevadaconservative.com, thenevadaconservative.com, and you can actually check out all of our articles and videos and stuff like that. The TNC podcast comes to you at least 3 or 4 times a week, and we kind of talk about some of the I think some of the most breaking news and the things that I believe that you're going to take with you and be able to use hopefully on on a regular basis, folks. So we just encourage you. Oh, what did I do there? What was that? Oh, there you go. I know that was very interesting. We hope that you are able to use all of these tips that are a part of the Nevada Conservative podcast, and that you're able to just get this to your friends. Don't just hold it inside, folks. Get it to your friends. Let them know about it. And that's really what it's all about, especially with the midterms coming up. People need to know all about what's going on. We're counting down the top 10 ways Democrat Party is trying to destroy America. And we're down to number 5 right now. So the number 5 right now is we talk about censorship, and we know this a lot at TNC. Big tech collusion and attack on free speech. Let me tell you something. This is what happened. So the Democrats were coordinating with big tech, social media, especially during COVID, and especially close to the election cycles, to quash and to squash free speech of people like moi. And I'll tell you, I've been a part of Facebook for many, many years. And the Nevada Conservatives started in 2009, I believe, or 2019. No, 2019 is when we started. And we have been consistently, what do they call it? Shadow banned, deplatformed, shadow banned again, flipped over, shadow banned. So they don't want anybody to hear our voice ever, because guess what? Nevada is a swing state, and they know that voices like ours are powerful in the state of Nevada. And what they've done is, especially remember when the Hunter Biden thing happened, and Hunter Biden was pretty obvious that he'd done some stupid stuff in his life. So one of the things that he did was that he had the laptop, the whole thing, and we posted stuff about him, and Facebook said, nope, we're not going to do that. And what the Biden administration had done is they got with all of these social media platforms, and they said, do not let any of this stuff get out. And they said, okay, sure, we won't let any of this stuff get out. The only people that allowed this stuff to get out was once Elon Musk bought Twitter, and then it became X, and Katie bar the doors. Everything opened up. That's censorship, folks, which goes against that's our First Amendment right. We have freedom of speech, and they can't do that. Number 4, weaponizing our federal agencies like the DOJ, the FBI, the IRS. And many of you know this. We call this lawfare. We've talked about this before. Lawfare against your political opponents. We talk about a 2-tiered justice system where Hillary Clinton can do something that you or I could never do. It's a 2-tier justice system where Democrats can get away with murder and the social media gets behind them. But if we as Republicans did any of this stuff, guys, no way. Okay? And as a matter of fact, they will send the DOJ against us. Donald Trump has been impeached, 3 times now? 3 times. Okay? He's been indicted forever, it seems like, and been convicted on 33 charges. Okay? Trumped up charges. Remember Russia, the Russia hoax collusion, that kind of stuff, all brought up. And then they're just finding out now that all of this stuff is a big scam. They're weaponizing all these federal agencies. The Biden administration had done it. And before Biden did it, Obama did it. Number 3, because we're running out of time, folks. We want to make sure we get all these in. Oh, we're going to run out of time. Okay, let's get the last 3 in. Okay, the cultural assault on life, family, and traditional values. Extreme abortion positions. Now, Democrats used to fight for, their right to have abortion. They want to kill babies at the altar of Baal, but now they want to kill babies. Doesn't matter when. Okay, baby could be sitting there on the table. They want the right to kill a baby right there on the table. They're working for gender policies to that hurt young girls, and we've seen this before. Now, my wife and I were talking about this recently. We were talking about how the Democrat Party has no problem with a woman getting the snot beat out of her in front of the entire world in boxing, that kind of stuff. And you know what they call that? Gender equality. Oh, he's gender fluid and he's transgender. We call that a guy beating up on a woman. I don't care whether the guy wears a bra or not. It's still a guy. If a young girl says that she's in a locker room and the boy walks into the locker room, they go, well, you just need to get over it. What are you doing to America here? There used to be a time when you protected young girls, especially young innocent girls, against pedophiles and against guys who just want to see a chick, naked. Not anymore. They've lost their way. And I hope you're as outraged as I am, because I have 3 daughters, guys. I could not stand the thought of my daughter having some guy oogling over my precious daughter. But the Democrat Party's going, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Let alone the marriage, the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman. They could care less about that either. See, guys, guess what? This is what happened to Rome. Okay, and I don't want to compare us to Rome because Rome was a horrible place, but Rome was a culture, was a civilization. And Rome was not destroyed from the outside. Nobody could beat Rome. It was destroyed from the inside. And what happened? The family was destroyed. That's the first thing that happened in Rome. They destroyed the family. And once you destroy the family, guys, guess what? The social fabric of their society was just a matter of time before it disintegrated also. And that's what Democrats are trying to do. They want to destroy marriage. They want to destroy race. They don't want to destroy race because they love race. They want to destroy traditional values. They want to destroy God in the society. They want to replace God with government. And we can't have that. We just can't have that. Number 2, we just have 2 more, folks, because we're running over here, but we're gonna get these last 2 in. Number 2, the top 2 ways the Democrat Party is trying to destroy America is in foreign policy, setting weak foreign policy and globalist entanglements. And we saw the biggest one, the biggest show of that was in the chaotic Afghan withdrawal. Perceived weakness invites aggression, because guess what happened after that? Russia invaded Ukraine. Now, you notice Russia is standing on the sideline right now while we're beating the snot out of Iran, right? Iran is Russia and China's #1 proxy. And guess what those 2 countries are doing right now? Instead of fighting for Iran, they're going, oh, no. Those Americans are just too tough. Okay? If that was Biden or Obama on this, who are in president right now, Iran would have already had a nuclear bomb. I can guarantee you. I guarantee you they would have already had to. It's weakness. And because of that weakness, guys, guess what? The rest of the world thinks we're weak. Had Biden or Kamala Harris or any Democrat been the president right now, there would be a whole different lay of the land right now. You can guarantee it. And the last one, guys. Undermining election integrity and faith in our republic. And this, if you want to put a stake in the heart of America, you want to get the people so that they do not trust the election process. And that's exactly what has happened, folks. Democrats, I know many of you are saying, oh, that's an election thing, it's just a big hoax or anything like that. It does not, and I did a mathematical thing on this, folks, just to find out how much it would, sorry, because I hope something doesn't happen there. Okay. If all you have to do in order to sway an election, any district or any precinct, it only takes a few people here and there. just a few, to sway the entire outcome of an entire state, especially if you multiply it by 20, 30 people. 20, 30 people this district, 20, 30 people in this precinct, and you keep doing this over and over again. When people feel that your elections are not fair, guess what they stop doing? They stop voting. They stop thinking that their voice counts. And that's really what America's all about. America's about you and I having being able to do stuff like this. Being able to say, guess what? My voice counts. What I say matters in a nation of 330 million people. Okay? That's really what it's all about. If you destroy people's confidence in America, guys, guess what? You've destroyed America. And Democrats are doing that each and every election cycle more and more and more. And many people who are in the know that they're already doing this and that they've been doing this for generations. That they've done this and they will continue to do this until we get election integrity, until we get secure elections the way we should. I hope you get this, folks. I really do. And I know we run over on this stuff, but we're good. Let's wrap this up. Okay, these aren't mistakes. There's a pattern. There's a pattern to what Democrats are doing. The Democrat Party has chosen woke ideology over American exceptionalism. But here in Nevada, and the Nevada Conservative, we're fighting back. I'm going to give you some things that you need to do over the next couple of months. And I want you to encourage your neighbors to do this. Okay? One, you got to vote. You've got to vote. You got to get engaged. You need to share this news broadcast with all your friends. Let them know. Guys, guess what? I think this guy's got something to say here. It's going to take you and I and you and I and a lot of other people together to make this thing work. Because if we don't do it, guys, we will lose our country. And as a guy, Puerto Rican guy, no, a Cuban guy, is said at the Republican convention in, I believe he did it in 2015, I believe. He said, guess what, guys? If we lose America, we got nothing else. There's nothing else out there. We need to get it together, folks. We really do. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you guys once again so much for being a part of the broadcast. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we will see you definitely again next time. If you like this, guys, we'll have this up on Spotify. We'll have it up on Rumble, X. We'll have it on all the social media sites. Just go look us up at the Nevada Conservative Podcast. This has been Sherman Ray once again. Thank you guys for being a part of the broadcast. We will see you again next week. Peace. Bye-bye.